For another live session. I'm talking to a wonderful woman today, Preeti Agarwal. For anyone who knows Preeti, we're both live on LinkedIn and YouTube. We're going to be talking about community leadership. We're going to be talking about trailblazing. We're going to be talking about how some of the challenges that women tend to face when they are working on their own, solo founders of CICs, charities, entrepreneurs. Um, Preeti actually has a really remarkable story behind how she started off. It's Your Mojo. And I met Preeti and actually interviewed her here live a few months ago. And a lot has happened since then. But it'd be good to have Preeti on board again. So tonight she is going to be joining us in the next few seconds.
Hi, Manwara.
Hi, Preeti. We're live on YouTube and LinkedIn.
Okay.
We'll probably have, if we do have people joining us, if not, people can catch up afterwards. But if you message us, we'll be able to see your messages, any questions. However, I'm pre-warning you, we might be in a free flow of a conversation and getting a bit carried away. So if we do miss anybody's comments, do excuse us. We'll catch up afterwards. But yes, Preeti, so how are you feeling this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Yes. How are you, Manwara?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a early finish today. I
That's
didn't
good.
work till late, luckily. And doing this, as you know, is on top of my normal working day. So I've had a bit of a break.
Nice.
Nice.
It's always nice to have a break.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, Preeti, a little bit about, well, I haven't really introduced myself first to anybody listening. So I'm Manwara Ali, and I've been, I guess, prolific on LinkedIn. I consistently post on LinkedIn, and I talk about leadership because leadership is really important to me, especially in women. I feel that women have immense potential to actually make positive change in communities, and they should be leading the community more. And that's the reason why I decided to be a lot more visible on LinkedIn, so that women like myself can learn that actually you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do what I do. And many of us, like yourself, Preeti, and some of the other women that I am connected here on LinkedIn, are doing amazing things in the community. So, really and truly, what I would love for you to share with us is a bit about It's Your Mojo, your platform. Tell us a bit about your platform, the birth of it.
Thank you, Manwara. So, I'm Preeti Agarwal. I am a physiotherapist and I'm mom to two children. So, when I grew up in India and I was always busy, apart from my academics, I was always busy learning new things, whether it was stitching, cooking. We were always learning new skills. We were always engaged and happy children. And when my daughter was growing up, she was also interested in a lot of these after school activities. She wanted to do arts, dance, and drama skills. And I was struggling to take her to different community events and places after school because it was tiring, time consuming, expensive, and it got even more difficult when my second one came along. So I had that in mind. And then post COVID, I thought it's a good time when people are kind of warmed up to technology to bring it all on one platform and solve all the problems that I had. So on this platform, we empower children to make choices. We run a subscription model where children can dip in, dip out of lots of subjects like art, drama, singing, dance, writing. There is a bit of problem solving, chess, coding. So we give them an exposure to a lot of subjects with an aim that children would be able to have an experience of the subject and see if they like it and develop a taste for it.
Mm, mm,
So that's what we do on It's Your Mojo. So they are live and interactive lessons, and we don't record those lessons. We don't do recording of the lessons because we want children to experience that feedback and engage in the lessons with the tutors.
What would you say has been your most eye-opening experience in, since you started? You've been running it for how long?
A year and a half now.
Year and a half, sorry. I thought it
Yes.
was 2 years, but year and a half.
Really. Like I started last, like the idea, kind of the conception was from like last April.
Last day. So, and what would you say what has been, well, okay, let's rephrase that. What would you say has been the most challenging thing about, starting something on your own and really keeping it going?
There have been, I mean, there are quite a few things, Munwara. I think the first thing would be building a team, trust among people before they join you. Sort of like, even getting all the tutors together. We now have a team of 15 tutors, but getting them to join the team, sort of like in the beginning when I first started, kind of getting, because it's a mission.
Mm.
And over here, we're not trying to make a lot of money, or because we have a purpose of giving this exposure, helping parents, helping children, to nurture their creativity and empowering them. So it's only those tutors who are in aligned to our mission would actually be perfect for the platform. So choosing those tutors for them to come on board, finance was another thing. When it was all set up, I think the next thing was getting parents to trust our platform for their
Mm.
children. And marketing has been the biggest challenge so far, I would say. So we're constantly marketing on different platforms to the schools, flyers. So whether you do digital marketing or paper-based marketing, it's just constant marketing that's needed. And it's also very targeted marketing that we need in this area.
Mm.
So those are the four main things. But to lead a team, I think being the leader, because I have started this, I've from inception to, from idea to inception, it's a long journey in year and a half. So from starting that idea, launching classes, getting to schools, talking to parents, and leading that team with a mission is
Mm.
not easy, is all I would say.
Mm. No,
It's yeah.
absolutely. I hear you, and I almost imagine like you're also a physiotherapist, so you're holding down your professional job as well as doing this. So it can't have been easy. But
No, and being a mom, it's like kind of, running a whole house to it along with it. So yeah, yeah, time management was a challenge, but I've enjoyed the journey so far, Manwara. And I
mm,
have made such lovely, like use like collaborations, getting to know new people, relationship building, networking. I think those are really some of the key things that I've enjoyed in the last year and a half.
mm. Because relationships, they don't always lead to customers, but
No,
sometimes they open other doors, don't they? And
absolutely.
I'm a firm believer that whatever you put out there, it will come back to you one way or another. It might not come back through the same person. It could be,
True.
from somewhere else. But it's lot of people will say like, it's hard doing what you do. And you mentioned time management. I remember years ago when somebody mentioned time management to me. And it wasn't until in a couple of years ago when I started reflecting on my life. I started writing and I started reflecting on my life. And I realized it wasn't because I didn't know how to manage time. It was because I was always doing too much. So
Absolutely.
is it really because you struggle to manage time, or is it possibly that you're actually doing more than one person's job?
I mean, I am doing more than one person's job. So like holding, three different swords at the same time with two hands is not easy.
No.
So having a family, running all of that, making sure, because everything starts from home, and I feel my home has to be stable for me to then work in a professional life. So I have to just make sure that everything is good over here before I even take a step forward in the professional world. And then doing my physio, because obviously I need to support my hustle and so the business side of things. Yeah. So it is about, just as you said, holding too many things, or
Mm,
trying to run too many things along with a social life, and then
mm.
running a business and a profession wasn't is not easy. So it's not really a problem with managing time. It's about too many responsibilities.
Yes, too many responsibilities, because if anyone gave me the role of picking out people to lead communities, I would look for the person who actually holds a lot of responsibilities, and I would say that's your woman to do the job.
Yeah.
But equally, I feel that the pressure, it can be immense. And one of the things I hear a lot from creative people like yourself, myself, and others, is that they will always say, "Oh, I can't, I've got too much on," or "I'm feeling overwhelmed." It's because we're creative and we want to always create things. That energy that we need to take out from within us needs to happen one way or another. So it's a question of, like you said, having somebody else doing things so that it frees us up to create. And that's why the beauty of that reflection, the self-reflection for me, was realizing, okay, at the age of 18, I was, you talked about your hustle. I'd never even realized what I was doing was hustling. you know but I was hustling since I was 17, 18. Like, you think, I'm sure you've had similar experiences, like when there were bake sales or something, and you always end up volunteering, and you're doing a bit of, like, you could work for a job and earn £200, but no, you would rather go and create stuff and sell it on a stall, make £50, and that £50 would go towards a cause. How crazy is that?
I know, but that's what gives you satisfaction. So, like, because when we volunteer in the school PTA events, or anywhere in the community, or even like social events, catching up with friends, going, supporting a cause, whether it's religious or with friends, we commit ourselves a lot
Mm,
more than we are, or rather than we should,
mm, mm.
and
Sometimes
then
we do. Yeah.
you know,
But I like to
we
think
find
we
it
get.
hard to say no.
You don't know how to say no, did you say?
No, I said we find it hard to say no. I mean, you have to when time
Mm,
comes where you start prioritizing, and I did that as well. And I turned a few things down because obviously business takes a priority, the profession takes a priority, and so when I could slash some of my social commitments, I did do that.
yeah, I think it's a question of, I don't know, there's a part of me, I'm going to be a devil's advocate now. If you were the type of person who always said no to everything unless there was some financial benefit for you, would people like you?
No,
That's the balance that I find that a lot of people don't get, because
no,
I personally don't necessarily say no to, sometimes I've said no to money
yeah.
because of my own well-being. I had to put my own well-being first. And at other times I've said yes to things because it's going to make my heart happy,
Okay.
you know?
I know, Manwara, but this is, I mean, in the first year and a half, it is not about money in the business. It's about setting it up. It's about prioritizing. If the platform needs you, or you need to spend some time with a tutor, or looking for tutors, or, get marketing for your work, I mean, that would definitely take a priority in the year, and because you are trying to settle this down.
Hmm.
So in that ways, it kind of took the priority.
Hmm. Hmm. So, one of the things that I hear a lot is, people often, especially when they need to collaborate, and trust is really hard to develop, and until you get to know people over a number of weeks or sometimes years, they say, well, tell me what the ultimate aim is. Unless and until somebody can give you a very, very clear vision, people, like some people, won't want to be part of that.
Yeah, true.
So how do you get around that? Because vision is not always going to be clear. Sometimes it's going to be very, very muddy and cloudy and foggy, but you know, because you feel something in your gut. It's almost like you're traveling through like fog. You can see something hazy, but you can't see it clear. So how do you, what makes you like decide, okay, I can trust this?
I think making maybe like short-term goals for me, sort of like that helps. So instead of, so because the mission is quite a huge thing to achieve altogether, like it's a big mission. Otherwise, we could have achieved it in a year, but because we know it's a journey, so we have to set milestones, and based on those milestones, I think it helps me to know what my mission is. To work with people, I would say I trust my gut, but also, you know, when you talk to people, you get to know, you get those vibes, you get those, how would you say, like instincts about a person. So, you could read somebody's profile and it'll be like XYZ, but is that right for you? So the other day, I'll give you an example. Somebody applied for the position of a tutor, and they have got this extensive experience. The CV that came through was, somebody who's been coaching. So they have been in teaching many years ago, but right now they've got a full-fledged business of coaching, and she wants to be a tutor on the platform. Would I actually choose her? It's almost, no, because that's not somebody who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's working with children, who can engage with children, who is at that level. So I'm just trying to give you an example of similar things with people, sort of like, something about them will tell me whether they are right set of people for me or not when I'm in this journey.
Okay. That's you taking the lead. That's you taking the lead. What if you wanted prospectus partners or collaborators to see you as a collaborator? What would make them choose you?
Right. So what would make them choose me would be
That's
my
meant to be
passion.
a hard question.
I know, I'm thinking. I think it's the passion, it's the hard work that I am ready to put in. I'm working on this project. I'm not giving up. So a no give up attitude continuously, like I'm keen to learn. Education is not my area. I was in academia, but right now, like being a physiotherapist, academics, like, it's not, education is not my area, but I have learned a lot and I'm willing to learn more. Ready to go extra mile. When it comes to me, my commitment, time commitment, hard work, learning. So my passion for the work that I'm doing will help me towards this collaboration. So this is what, and my work so far is, my commitment to this work will speak of my seriousness towards the project. And I think that would, and the interpersonal relationship, I feel, so that's the first step in towards gaining somebody's trust as well, even before my credentials or my work comes into picture. I think, that warmth of people, for them to see that yes, I can be worked with.
Okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
So it's a personality plus the characters, I would say.
Okay. So some people might say that entrepreneurs, people that work on their own, are very focused on their thing. So therefore, they don't really entertain flexibility. So to collaborate and to work with somebody else, you have to be a little bit open, because you may be very fixed minded in terms of your milestones and where you want to be in 6 months or a year. Somebody else has exactly the same idea about their baby and their project, their business. And so it becomes really, really difficult unless those people are willing to compromise somewhere. And one of the things I've noticed as well is, like, you cannot see my vision, I cannot see yours. So you have to articulate yours enough to sell it to me, and I have to articulate mine enough to sell it to you. And then being able to see where the hands can, like, come together, and there could be some connection. That isn't easy, is it?
No, that's not easy. But it's again, as you said, if you articulate clear enough. So I recently had a proposal, you could say somebody wanted to me to lead their business in the UK, and they said, "Well, you are already working in the children's sector, and this is what you're doing, and you could be doing this for us." And when he mentioned about his vision, I realized he wanted me to be a distributor, like a face to the company over here, but more like I could understand the role as a distributor. And I said, I don't want to become a distributor for your work here.
Mm, mm,
So, so I just made clear my vision of what I want to do as an entrepreneur. I
mhm,
don't have problems working with people, but as long as the visions are aligned, sort of like the expectations aligned with each other, I think other things can be worked through. So, as you said, the milestones, the timings, all of that can be worked through. There has to be a lot of flexibility because, when I approach other organizations, I kind of tell them what I provide, what I can provide, and I always ask them, tell us what you need. What would make your service better? How can we incorporate this through our work? So there is a part of our provision, but we also give a flexibility to the other organization to understand how we could enhance their provision or how we could work together. So that's my way of collaborating with other people. Is it's not just about what I am receiving from them, it's also about how I could complement what they're doing.
mm, mm. No, that's helpful to know, because obviously there'll be people listening and they may be in your field. And if they were looking for somebody to collaborate with, I think, it's not, most people think of competition when they think of collaboration. And that is probably one of the biggest barriers to collaboration. I sometimes feel like you can't overthink these things, because you don't know what something could lead to.
Yeah.
Faith doesn't mean like everything. Faith means you leave some things. You could have all the structures and plans in the world. I'm an organized person. If I don't organize, I'd be having problems with time management. There's no way I'd be able to juggle so much. But at the same time, there's an element I like to leave in faith. And my gut will tell me sometimes this is not right for you. So say no. Or I don't want to let someone down. So I will say no, you know. But you've, like, it takes a lot of resilience to get to where you've got to. And I'm sure that didn't come without its times of overwhelm, feeling like, okay, I'm not enough, feeling like, I can't do this, or, is this the time where I give up? What do you think has helped you to remain resilient after all this time? Now, don't say because I don't like giving up.
Well, I mean, there are times because being a founder, juggling so many things, it's not even about juggling. I think it's also about carrying this load. You
Mm,
know, I would say the first 8 months of this year were like really enjoyable. I was really enjoying my journey, and I had promised myself that at any point of time, when this becomes a burden, I'm not going to let it become a burden, but if it becomes a burden, I'm not going to do it because I want to enjoy what I'm creating. But obviously, it's not all enjoyment. It does come with stress, time commitments, and obviously the usual business problems. In most of those times, I think what I have struggled with is the procrastination where I'm putting things away. So, like thinking I'm going to do them and I don't do them. So, I have faced that. I have faced, I would not say lack of confidence, but it was a very, when you can't see clearly
Mm.
whether what you're doing is at the right path, are you on the right path or not. So sometimes I've had self doubts,
Mm.
and in those moments I have spoken to people like yourself.
Mm.
I have, I have also, it's like, you've encouraged me, supported me through the journey. I've also at that those points stepped back,
Mm.
taken a step back and looked at what's going on. And sometimes it's just an overwhelmed feeling, and also to dealing with my emotions. Say if a tutor, so last year, say beginning of this year, if a tutor left the platform, I would lose my sleep for 2 days. It's like emotional regulation out of the window. But then came a time where, you learn to deal with these things on a day-to-day basis. You have the joy of people joining your platform. You get some really great people coming with you, collaborating with you, giving you that joy. And then there will be times when people leave you for their personal reasons, where it's not personal to me. But, to get over that has been a process of learning.
Mm.
So I think just reflecting on what I have achieved has really helped. So, sometimes you look back and say, if I have achieved so much in this time, I'm sure I can just go ahead as well.
Mm.
And I have read a lot about founders, in different books where they talk about the journey and they inspire you because it's a journey, and there will be times when you won't feel on the top of the world.
Mm. You're gonna
That's why
feel.
not everybody is a founder, not everybody is an entrepreneur, because not everybody can take those risks, emotional up, highs and lows. So it makes you a tough person.
Of course, absolutely makes you a
So
tough
that's what
person.
makes you resilient in the end, isn't it? So
Yes,
you can let things pass over.
yes, and it's a phase, isn't it? It's
It's a
like
phase.
you could go through. I remember a time when I went through my like really difficult times, and so many things went wrong. I got to a point where I just thought to myself, you know what? Bring it on. Give me more.
Yeah, you can
I
just deal
can
with
take
it then.
this. Just give me more because I'm going to push back and I'm going to come through it. And that's an attitude that takes a long time to get to. And in that time, if you get to speak to other people who are in a similar position, it
Yes.
really helps because Preeti, we had this discussion a week ago, I think. Like
Yeah, about
sometimes
10 days
people,
ago. Yeah.
yeah, we you can look at someone, they're smiling, they sound like, they've got the perfect business and and you compare, you start naturally to compare and you feel a small element of envy because you think, okay, they're all established and perfect. But isn't that's what the learning is? Because then you realize, oh, actually we're in the same boat.
Yes, and everybody has a different time frame, as you said, like the milestones. The time frame is different. Some people have achieved that. They've completed their journey in 10 years, and I'm just 1.5 years in this process. And this is why talking to people who are in the similar situation, or other founders who have been through the journey or are in this journey, really helps. Experienced people like you always help because you can help us see the other side of the other perspective of the situation.
The
So
mirror, like I say, look in the mirror.
no, seriously, it does help, Manora.
You know the story of Socrates, don't you?
Tell
My
me.
son the other day reminded me, and he said, "Mum, they hated Socrates because he went around making his life's ambition as a philosopher was to make people become self-aware, and in the end, they killed him. Well, they poisoned him because they didn't like him. So that's maybe the bit about me that most people don't like. But and I have once or twice made people very upset. But it's for a good cause. I always say it's for the greater good. Once people realize afterwards, sometimes you have to break open and break down before you
Build
become strong.
yourself up again.
Yes, exactly. And then one day I'll be remembered.
Absolutely, absolutely. You will be because I think you're one of those many people who can, who believe in other people. As you said, like you live by faith, faith in other people as
Mm.
well. So you are giving chance to other people, Manwara.
Mhm.
And I still, when I think about how I found you on LinkedIn, you just appeared on my LinkedIn and I connected. And then I waited for a few months before we met.
Mm. Mm.
And and I seriously believe that we meet people for a reason in our lives.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw you on LinkedIn. I didn't think that we would be having this conversation the last time, let alone having this conversation now. And I believe that we will be collaborating soon as well. And who knows where this journey will take us. But I know that there was it felt like we connected somehow. And that's the joy of how I have found LinkedIn to be. I have connected, like, there are people all the way in Austria that are not even in my profession, but for some reason, there's things about each other that really connects. And I have found that, like, quite, for me, it's been a big learning curve.
Yes, I mean, for me, because I look up to a lot of people on LinkedIn, and you always follow other people's journey. And then recently I met a few people who have been looking up to me as well, and they are like, "Oh, looks amazing," and then we have a chat, and then it feels nice that it's not just being inspired, but being able to inspire others as well
Exactly.
is a great feeling. And this
It's
is
a
something that
two-way.
I've very recently recognized that yes, there are other people watching me as well.
Exactly. And like when we share, okay, the fact that we are not perfect as human beings, but even though life is not perfect, we keep going and we do the best we can. We make mistakes, uh, we could have just started this and the technology failed us. But it wouldn't be the end of the world, would it?
It
No.
won't.
Life goes on. And anyway, when you're on millions, when you're
This is being recorded, so we'll play this.
when you're on millions, I'll still be a good connection, a close connection. I would want to
I will
go
never
close.
grow alone. I'll grow with you, Manwaram. So remember that.
I will want to remain very close. KG's just joined us. Good evening,
Hey,
KG.
KG.
We are on LinkedIn and we are on YouTube as well because I have a YouTube channel. So I just feel like why not? Two different ways of reaching audience. If anything we say tonight, anything we share as women that actually believe that our visibility and our vulnerability can help other women like us to believe that you don't have to be perfect, but neither do you have to be uncomfortable about being you, because whatever I talk about is my truth. It may not be how others view it, but I speak from my own perspective. And I feel that I have a voice, and like some of my great friends that champion me on these platforms. And those friends are also people that encourage and empower me, say that I should take up space. There's enough for all of us. So, Preeti, you're going to take up more space now, right?
Will do. Not in the physical world.
No, but like there's
I know
enough
what you
space on
mean.
LinkedIn,
There's
and
enough
there are
space.
so
Yes.
many platforms. But I mean, I will just say Twitter's not for me.
Is it not for you? It's not for me. When I find Twitter like because it has to be very short and snappy.
Mm.
The content has to be really short and snappy for Twitter because people like to. It doesn't let you write volumes for anything.
No, no, no. I hear you. Well, has it been uncomfortable so far?
You did try.
You know what? I could be cruel, but I won't.
No,
I had some
please don't.
questions. I have some questions written down, but I'm going to let you off.
Really.
Yeah, so we're going to put this to an end. Anything you want to say to anyone listening? What would you like to say?
Yes, I mean, if anybody is listening, whoever is listening, all I would say is if you dream of something, do it, start it. Don't think about it too much, don't dwell on it. Plan it well, but do work on it. Don't just sit on it because it won't happen by itself. And I've been on an incredible journey in a year and a half. I have changed as a person in a good way. I've learned a lot, or I wouldn't be sitting here with Manwara. So it's a journey. I have enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. And I would like to see more women coming with me on this journey. So if there is anybody looking for any sort of support, encouragement, motivation, I'm here to help. I'm here to listen and share. So just come forward and do it.
And hopefully collaborate, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because together we're stronger.
Together we are stronger, always, always.
Well, I'm super excited to see where this journey takes us, but I know that we will be doing something in December. I'm not sure what it looks like yet because it's not clear, but I know that in December we will collaborate and we will do something because I have faith that Preeti, when it comes to virtual platforms, is the expert. I'm not going to let you off easy. Now you know. Now you know.
Yes. So I've
Munwara
oversold
knows.
myself now. I'll have to prove it.
Yes, you will have to prove it. And Munwara knows how to figure out. And then she goes for the kill.
Good one, good one.
Seriously, seriously, we will collaborate because we have been doing amazing things together, and I'm just really looking forward to more things. And I will be talking to Saima at some point in the next few days, maybe in a week or two when she's available. So she'll be next. But it's been amazing following your journey, Preeti, and exciting that it continues. And the more you inspire women like yourself on this platform, ultimately, that's the difference we're making.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Manwara, for the opportunity to come and talk.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yes. Always yes for you.
Thank you. Have a really good evening, and good
Thanks,
evening to
Manwara.
anybody else. Is it evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever in the world, whoever watches us now or at replay, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.